Alrighty, hello and welcome back. So today we are going to talk about how you get one of these bad boys on your countertop. So we made an island piece here. We took a few 2x12s, put them together, and made a countertop out of it. Main reason, cheap, something to do while we figure out what we want to put permanently up here, but about $150 maybe, and it gave us a solution until we can get the money or figure out what we want to do going forward. This has been on here for almost a year already. That's how long it's taken me to make this video, and it's still held up pretty well. So stick around. Let's get to that video. All right, welcome back. So we have built the base here. Haven't completely finished it, but happy enough to where I can get going on my top here. So I looked at many things, thought about doing concrete. Yeah, it seems heavy for this big area. It's gonna be 5x7. So thought about doing concrete, thought about doing live edge wood, which I wanted to do, but that would have been a couple $1,000s just to do on my own. So I came up for temporarily, and if I want to change it down the road, I'm gonna get some 2x12s and stack them together, kind of like a wide butcher block. So first thing's measurements. I go and down to here, we're sitting at about 70 inches. Well, I want about 1.5 inches on that side, and then I want it to overhang about 1 foot on this side. This side and this side overhang. So that's gonna make that about a 7-foot board. If I come back over on this side, this one's a little bit more different. I'm looking at about 49 to the plywood, 1.5 inch overhang. I go out further, that's about 63 inches, about 1 foot out from here. So I'm gonna have 7 foot by 5 foot and 3 inches. So next is to go out, measure, and cut the boards. Okay, so here are my boards. I have 6 of them. Okay, so first things first, what I'm gonna look for is an actual good, make sure I have good ends here. Now I've scolded a lot for these, and these are all straight, look good. First thing to keep in mind, we're not worried about the edges here. We're gonna table saw these to get the rounds, to get away from the rounds here. That way they butt up real nice and next to each other. So I don't really care about this little chips here in this corner. What I care about is this look good. This looks good. I have no cracks, so I have a little crack right here. I'll check the other end. If that's smooth, then I'll cut this end. But I'm probably just gonna keep this in. We'll cut that in down there. And as you can see, just over 8 foot. I want it 7 foot long. All right, so I just got back from my father-in-law's house where we trimmed off these edges to make them flush on the table saw, and then we used a joiner. You can also plane them if you'd like to make it smoother, but we didn't have a planer. So now we're gonna tie these boards together to make it into the countertop. So here's what I'm gonna do. I got 6 boards total, so I'm gonna hit 3 a pop, and I'm gonna put the 2 3s together. So this is an example. We're gonna get some wood glue on each seam and then put them together like this. This is the bottom. The top is down underneath here. So I clamp each edge. I have some overhang, and I can adjust by the fill. I can hit it down, hit it up to try to get as level as possible. This should be pretty lip free once you get into here, but on the edges, we can really make sure the edges are straight. So we'll glue, we'll clamp, we'll hit, then we're gonna screw in. This is the bottom, angle screws here. All right, one done, so I just use these GRKs. Small head, they can hide easy. So whatever side overhangs, I can just sand that off and you won't even notice it. So let's unhitch the wagon and see what it looks like. So there's 1/2 of our humongous island countertop. So now we will do the same exact thing. Put them up there face down, clamp them, or glue, clamp, screw. So we got both boards here. 1 board, 2 board. Put them up here, kind of jerry-rigged a little contraption here. Got them up. So these 2x4s I'm gonna screw in to the middle of these, and that's what I'm gonna use to clamp this middle part together. So same process, I'm gonna screw those on. Already got glue on there. We're gonna clamp and then screw the middle. All right, got her all put together. So unscrew those braces, clamps off, and put down some scrap wood to lay this dude on down here where I'm going to sand and stain. All right, so here we are anyway on the, we got it all put down, back down together, yada yada. So now I'm going to hit it with some sanding. I'm going to start with a 60 since I did not plane it and it has some rough spots on it, you know, some little divots and stuff. We're going to hit with a 60, 120, then 220. Then she should be ready for stain. So off we go. All right, so we are all done sanding with the 60 grit, and I rounded the edges, and I mean, it really toughs it up and roughs it up, but it gets rid of all these little imperfections I had. Now I'm going to take some wood filler, fill in any little bitty gaps I have like that. I'm going to go ahead and fill in these holes, knot holes, little crack, let it dry, then we'll go back over with 120, and that will smooth everything out the rest of the way. Alrighty, so this would be, so I hit it all with the stain, so you can tell the areas that I slapped down on. Then whenever we go over it with the 120, it's gonna clear off, it's just gonna make it to where that's excess stain comes off. So, like I said, hit knots. I just use my finger and rub it on there. So I'm gonna let that dry, then we'll hit it, come back with some 120 sand. Party, but here she blows. So after we got the last sanding with the 220, we hit some stain, let that dry. Then we hit some butcher block oil and we let that dry. Stain, so I used semi-transparent English chestnut. And then the Watco butcher block Lowe's, L-O-W-E-S is where we got that from. So let's move this little doobie in there and see what she's shaping up like. One more note before we get ahead of ourselves. So I have some corbels, threw those on. Basically one whole slat of wood's gonna be hanging, so you gotta get something to hold that. Got some bracing there. And I got some power grab on some shims to get everything nice and level to where it's all touching. Voila. All right, let's grab that slab and drop it on here. All right, so fast forward about 9 months and I'm finally finished this video. Here it is, it's on here. So when we left off, I was about to put it on here, so me and my wife went and grabbed it, threw it on here. So let's go over a few things. So as you can tell, pardon the mess, nursing school. So that's what it looks like now. The one thing that we do not like is that these corbels down here were not long enough, which I kind of put videos on or put notes on. And where she sits most of her time to do her homework, you can see it's kind of sloping down. So that would be my main thing, is to make sure we get big enough corbels here to really secure that. Other than that, love it. It's been, like I said, 9 months and we're still trucking along. Looks good, serves its purpose. And for the price and the temporary, we'll take it. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Go look at some other ones if you'd like. We're just throwing up stuff periodically as we get things done. Cheers.